So it's nearing the end of October and you know what that means. It's time to go trick-or-treating. And today we're going to look at a few teams and see if they are tricks or if they're treats. To determine if a team is a trick or a treat, we need to know what those two things are first. A trick is a pretender, for a lack of a better term. It means that they're not quite the team that their record may suggest. They may have a better record than others, but aren't a better team. This team is not a playoff contender, even if they get there. A treat is a team that holds up to their record. They are what they seem, they may be better than what they seem, and they have potential to have success throughout the season as well as the playoffs. So we're going to jump into a sample of teams. I picked 3 from each conference. I chose from wildcard teams, teams floating around the 500 mark, or playoff hopefuls. So without further ado, let's go trick-or-treating.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
And up first, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I still don't really know how this team is winning games. The only thing I could really point to is that their ability to create turnovers. They're 5th in total takeaways in the league and tied for 2nd with 5 other teams in turnover differential. However, in games that they force less than 3 turnovers, they're 1-2. So forcing 3 turnovers a game is not super sustainable, and the offense still ranks amongst the lowest in the league. This is a team that is solely relying on the success of their defense with little offensive production, and for that, they are a trick. Next, we have the Seattle Seahawks. If I learned anything from last year, I should not be writing the Seahawks off. They rank within the top 15 in both offense and defense. Geno is yet again proving people wrong while completing close to 70% of his passes. Their only losses have been to the Rams in Week 1 and the Bengals, who we'll be talking about later in the video. Seattle has a stiff run game and a secondary that hasn't allowed, besides Daniel Jones going 3 yards over, a 200-yard passer since Week 3. They continue to improve on both sides of the ball as the season is progressing, so I say that the Seahawks are a treat. Next, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are currently 3-3 because since they've had Joe Burrow, they typically start off the season slow. I don't know why, but in their back-to-back wins before the bye, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have gotten back on track. Their defense has been creating pressure and taking the ball away. I think that they're very similar to their division rival in the Steelers, but their offense is able to hold up their end of the deal, and that's going to help them further down the line in the season. The Bengals are a treat. Don't let the slow start fool you. Next, we have the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons currently sit at the top of the NFC South at 4-3. Their offense has been improving through the air, getting both tight ends involved in the game plan and running a committee backfield that's resulted in 5 games over 100 yards in team rushing. However, their offense has put up over 20 points in only 3 of their 7 games on the season, and a finger to point could be to their sub 50% success rated red zone offense. They also have the easiest schedule in the league, so when they've played teams with an above 500 record, they were blown out. Despite having good stats on the ground in both offense and defense, I'm not sold on this Falcons team quite yet, so I see them as a trick. Next, we have the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are coming off a huge win against the 49ers, which I'm sure not many people saw coming. Kirk Cousins lit it up in primetime, believe it or not, and their defense was creating turnovers against a San Francisco offense that doesn't typically give up the ball. When you look at the Vikings' schedule, I can honestly see them having a chance to win each of their next 6 games. Justin Jefferson is going to be returning soon and pairing him with TJ Hockenson and Jordan Addison, who have both been heating up lately. This offense has potential to be one of, if not the best in the league. Their defense has held teams under 20 in 3 of the last 4 weeks, so there's promise on both sides of the ball. The only thing that worries me is that every single game the Vikings have played so far this season have been a one-possession game, whether or not they win or lose. Typical Vikings outcomes, but right now I think that the Vikings are a treat. And the last team, the Buffalo Bills. Okay, let me just start by asking, is it an overreaction to even put them in this video? Now, secondly, let me say, the Bills' first 4 weeks of the season compared to the last 3 weeks of the season have been night and day. The Bills had wins of 38-10, 37-3, and 48-20 in their first 4 weeks of play. In their last 3 weeks of play, they've had games of a 25-20 loss, a 14-9 win, and a 29-25 loss. In 3 of those games, Josh Allen has had an interception in each game. Both losses came in away games. In fact, each of the Bills' 3 losses have been in away games. They played the Jaguars in London. So if they're currently 1-3 on the road, unofficially, you look ahead to their remaining road schedule and you see them take on the Bengals, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Dolphins. I would say that 4 of those last 5 away games are going to be a very difficult time for the Bills. So unless they're able to shape it up on the road, I'm going to say that the Bills are a trick. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you would agree or disagree. I hope everybody has a great Halloween. Whether or not you're trick-or-treating, watch a Halloween movie. Everybody comment your favorite Halloween candy or your favorite Halloween movie. And you can comment both if you want. Hope everyone has a great Halloween. I currently have a couple things in the works for the channel, so stay tuned for that. I will be letting you guys know very, very soon. And until then, I will see you in the next video.